Good afternoon, happy stampers. Welcome to Tuesday's Live. So my name is Judi Anderson, and I'm from judistamps.com. I'm an independent demonstrator in the United States, and Diane and I team up every week and bring you guys projects. She does them on Mondays, and I do them on Tuesdays. She shares them on my Facebook, and I share them on her Facebook. So if you're watching on Facebook, give us the thumbs up, hearts, and make sure that you share these videos, okay? And if you're watching my YouTube channel, welcome, and make sure you subscribe to my channel. We really appreciate this. So if you're watching on replay, please let us know by saying replay in the video so we know who watched by replay, and let us know where you're coming from, okay? Oh, my phone just gave out here. I have been getting a lot of notifications. So let me scroll up so I can get on my live, and hopefully I can see your comments and make sure, you do comment, okay? And if I don't answer your question during the live, if it's on Diane's page, she will answer her questions and I will answer my questions on my page. So what do you say? Let's get going, okay? We are bringing you projects from the new January to June mini catalog. Hello, Mary. How are you? This week, we can't show you the inside of the catalog yet because it hasn't gone live. It does go live on January 4th. Make sure that you check it out. If you have not received a catalog and are not currently working with a demonstrator, contact me and I'd be happy to send you one. Also, from January 4th through the end of February is Celebration. And in Canada, with every $60, and in the US with every $50, you get a level 1 celebration item. And with every $120 in Canada and $100 in the US, you get a level 2 or 2 level 1 items for free. You know, it's a great time to host a party, whether it be a Facebook Live, online, or a Zoom, or in person. I'm not too sure about Canada. And right now in the U.S., especially where I live in Illinois, they're changing the protocols every day. So we're having to adapt to that also. So don't forget that. So let's get going. Okay, I'm going to flip you around. There we go. So as you can see today, oops, it kind of moved out of focus there. So as you can see, I am using In the Moment stamp set. I will tell you, I had a hard time deciding which stamp set I was going to use today. There's quite a few of them that would go with the designer series paper that I am using. And I went back and forth, and I thought, you know what the heck? I'm going to use this one. Just because I have so many ideas between this one and the other sets already. But I will bring you the other set next week, okay? So I just love these images. There's 6 images. We have the 3 girls, one holding the cup of coffee, looking out the window. This one is out on a deck with a glass of wine. And this one is snuggled in her bed with a puppy reading a book. And then we have 4 really great verses in here. And I'm going to use one of them. I haven't decided which one. We're going to do the card and see which one fits, right? Okay. Then we have this New Horizons Designer Series paper. You get 4 sheets of every paper design, and it is 2-sided, and they are gorgeous. And on this is the only one, I believe, that doesn't have a scene on one side. But I just love these papers. You can do so much with them once you kind of dissect them. The rest of them are similar to this one, where they have scenes in them. And we have this one. Aren't these colors gorgeous? This one with the mountains. Now the coordinating colors with this, so you know, are Blackberry Bliss, Bumblebee, Calypso Coral, Evening Evergreen, Fresh Freesia, Garden Green, Misty Moonlight, Old Olive, Pale Papaya, Polished Pink, and Soft Succulent. So as you can tell, it's going to go with a lot of colors. And depending on what color you put it on, is going to bring out the different colors. I love this one. This one almost looks like it's a lake in the background, and some trees here. And depending on what you put with this, I have some great ideas with some stamp sets out of the annual catalog with many of these sets. And you know what? I've been forgetting to show you the backs. So let's go back. Here's this one, and then this one. And this one here, this, you know, looking this way, this could be lightning coming down or rain. But if I flipped it around, it could be bushes and trees here, and this be the sky. So depending on which way you use these, and here's the back of this one, gorgeous sky or water scenes. Here's this one I was talking about with the lake here. That's what I see. Everybody sees something a little bit different with these. This mountain, and this almost looks like it's water here. Ice coming up to the land here, a gorgeous sunset. And look at this side. So you get a double whammy for, you know, scenes here. This is a grassy scene with the sky, or if you flipped it upside down, you could make mountains up here, and this could be a lake. So see, once again, just depends on which way you flip this paper. This is another gorgeous one that I have some great ideas, especially if you have some of our scene sets. You know, I could see using our mountain set with this, our Beauty of Friendship set with this, the Nature's Harvest, which just is going to be carried over from the current catalog, is one that you can use with these papers also. And, you know, you could even get some fun sets, you know, some of the, like the turtle set. I think you could do some really cute scenes with that little turtle. And with our celebration, you could do a cute, oh, what is it? An otter. This one is more abstract, but I still see scenes in here. I see mountains up here with the forest in front of it, snow falling down, and gorgeous. This is the Pale Papaya. I can see, you know, I use backs of these papers a lot. Here's another gorgeous one. And just depends on which way you put it, you know, and some gorgeous Blackberry Bliss on that side. Here's another one. This almost looks like the sun coming, you know, shining down. And Fresh Freesia on the back of this one. Here's another one. Now, I predict that this paper is going to be very popular. So when the catalog goes live and you are liking this paper, I recommend you get it in one of your first orders. So you're sure to get it. And here's some with some flowers in the forefront, and then just layers of ground. And then this could be a lake, or even clouds, you know, how the fog rests in during the early morning hours or late evening hours. And then that could be mountains or trees in the background. And this one, again, it's abstract, but it's, you know, I see scenes in this one too. This is the one we're going to be using today. I had a hard time deciding between these two, but I opted for this one. I've already cut apart, and on the back is your polished pink. So there's your designer series paper, and here's our pieces. Now, garden green is one of the colors that coordinates, and I haven't decided if I'm going to use this yet, so I haven't cut it. We may be cutting that. My card base is polished pink, and I did fold it already. I don't know why. It was just out of habit, and it measures 4 1/4 by 11, and I scored it at 5 1/2. I have not taken my bone folder to it yet. So that's going to be our card base. I have a 4 by 5 1/4 for the inside of the card. And then I cut a piece of the designer series paper. Now I cut it at a 4-inch strip first. So that left me with a 2-inch strip, 2 by 6, that I can use for either the part of this project or another project. And then I cut it down from the bottom to measure 4 by 5.25. And this is where I have not decided, and I'm going to let you guys decide. So while I'm creating, you guys can be giving me your answers. If you think, do you like it just on there like that? I could even put it onto a piece of white to have it stand out, but I think that kind of washes out the front piece. Or do you like the garden green on there also? Okay, so you're going to need to put in the comments if you want me to cut a layer of garden green for it. I don't like the basic white, so garden green. So if you want the garden green, comment garden green, okay? So we have this piece, and the image I am going to use from my stamp, I almost grabbed the stamp set I was going to use, the other one. I'm going to use this with the wine glass. Okay, and it looks like I've already mounted it. Whew, I'm ahead of the game today. So I am going to use my Memento ink, and I am going to stamp the image directly onto the designer series paper. Okay, and then before I came on the Magic TV or video, I have already stamped one onto a piece of basic white and cut it out. So I am going to put her right, do we want it off the side or centered? Good question, Judy. Let's do it right here. And we're going to put her up a little bit so she is towards the middle, or more towards the top a little bit, not all the way against the bottom. Okay, now that is just giving me an outline. I wanted the birds on there. I want her wine glass with the background showing through. So what I did ahead of time, like I said, I already stamped her on some basic white. Well, hello, Carol and Peggy and Mary and Dorothy. Good morning to everybody. So, and I cut her out. And the reason why I cut her out already is because I wanted to cut along the outline, along the black lines. I didn't want to leave a white border on this one. And because of the position of my camera, I had to bring this up close to me, so you wouldn't have been able to see what I was doing anyways. So I did it to begin with. Okay, now before I do anything, and what we're going to do is we're going to pop her right over that. Okay, so the birds are going to be showing there. So what I'm going to do, because I do have a little bit of white along the edges, and I don't want that to show, I am taking my basic black marker, and I'm just rubbing it perpendicular to the edge, just to hide any white that I may have left. And then you will notice that on the sides here, there's no lines, but this is going to give it that line along that edge. And I cut it kind of crooked because a lot of times when you see images in photographs, in magazines and stuff, where they want the image to end, but it continues into the background, there is kind of a zagged line. Zagged. Oh gosh, is that even a word? Jagged line. So here, I'm just going to take my tip up in here and just do it, and perpendicular up and down very carefully. And I did the same thing over here, so I'm going to do that while I have it up that way. Now you're going to notice that there's a couple spot areas that I did not cut that are just white, and now that would look kind of odd in here, just because I'm not doing this as a matted layer. I am doing this as a cutout to go over that image. Now I could have just colored the image on the designer series paper, but I wasn't too sure how her arms with the flesh color would show up on there. So I opted to do it this way. So I've gone along the entire edge, and now you don't see any white along there. So that's a trick. So if you stamp it in blue or in green, just take your matching Stampin' Right marker and go along those edges. Okay, we're going to put this to the side for just a second. I am going to cut her wine glass off. So I'm going to cut it off right along the top here, because we have the top and with the glass, since it's only partially full, you can see through that. So we wanted to see the background. We also want to see the background in a couple areas. In this area here, we want to see the sky. In this little area right down here under her arm. So we have this piece here. I'm going to take this piece here. Let me grab a piece of paper here. And I am going to stamp her again. Now, I'm going to pay attention to where those two areas are, because that's all we are really cutting. I should have been a little bit more careful there, because some of the green is showing there, but I think we're going to be able to fake it. Now, this is not going to match exactly, as you can tell, but if we use this lighter area, it's going to kind of blend in. If I have this kind of right up in here, so take your paper, turn it around. This is going to match pretty closely there. So I'm going to want to do that arm there, and this arm is going to be wherever it falls. Okay, so we're going to stamp. Well, I can stamp that. I'm going to cut it because the second arm doesn't show up, and I will just be wasting paper. So we're just going to put that right there. Okay, so we are paper piecing in a different manner here. And this one, we're just going to stamp right down here. And that is a very small area. So I'm just going to put those to the side right now. We're going to cut those out in just a moment. Put them where I won't lose them. Let's pull her back in. Now, I've taken some of my Stampin' Blends out to color her. And so let's start. I have my So Saffron Dark. So I am going to color her hat just a little bit, giving it some shading. I'm going to take my Daffodil. Oh, no, my So Saffron Light. My So Saffrons are starting to run out of ink. So I was smart and went ahead and ordered a new set. I'm taking light cherry cobbler for my wine glass. Okay, and I'm just going to leave a little bit of a white spot, not much, in the center of that. And it's such a small spot, I'm not going to worry about shading it all. For the decking, I have my gray granite, my light gray granite. So I am just going to take and color those in. And once again, these are fairly small areas. You could worry about shading if you wanted to. I'm not that particular. So I am just coloring them. So that is my light gray granite, if you're keeping track of what colors I'm using. For her hair, I am going to use the light So Saffron first. And I'm just using the brush tip and just doing a couple wormy squiggles. Okay, then I'm taking my cinnamon cider. I'm using light and dark. And I do use the brush tips for this because I want fine lines, and I am just scribbling. I'm not coloring at all because I want her to have highlights and lowlights in here. And then I'm going with my dark right kind of next to where I did with my light. And don't worry if you have white areas in it, it's okay. That's her hair, quick and easy. Let's do her arms. So I am just taking my ivory, and once again, I'm not really worried about shading her arms a whole lot. I'm going to leave a little bit of a white area in one or two spots just to give some highlights. Okay, we're almost done coloring this. Can you believe that? Okay, now I am taking my dark balmy blue and my light misty moonlight. Okay, and that is going, I wanted her dress to be navy-like. So I am going to take and flick from the bottom up here. And what that does is that creates a little bit of darkness here. We're just going to color in here and just kind of do the same going down. I'm not worried about the white lines right now because I'm going to be coloring this in even more. I'm just trying to get some shading in here. Okay, so it looks kind of streaky, and that's okay. We're going to take the brush tip of our light misty moonlight, and I am just going to give her some shadow areas. We can go by what the artist has done, and then I can kind of paint these on. Okay, and give her a little bit of darkness right below her hair. I'm not touching down all the time, as you can see. I'm going to do the same thing at the bottom of her waistband as I did at the top. Start at the waistband and then just kind of, you know, color down some dark areas. I am going to have her belt the dark. So we're just going to go ahead and color that right in. Okay, now we're going to take our dark balmy blue and we're going to go over this. And when we do it this time, we're going to be blending in. So we're going to go over those misty moonlight spots a couple times because we want to blend it in. But I am still putting my blend down and lifting up as I color. Okay, and that's going to blend that out, but that's going to also give it some highlights and lowlights automatically. And if you find that this doesn't blend a whole lot up here, go ahead and give it some squiggles and then color it down. You may have to saturate it just a little bit, but you don't want to end exactly in the middle. You want to go ahead and see how we have some depth to her dress and how that dark, light misty moonlight kind of blends in. We want to do the same thing with her skirt, and her skirt can be a little bit darker, and in fact I want it a little bit darker, so I'm going over that misty moonlight a little bit more and just flicking right off the paper. Okay, and I'm going to do it a little bit more here. Okay, she is colored, you guys. Quick and easy. We're in for easy cards lately, but we still have those two areas to worry about. So we're going to take our papers that we've gone and cut, and we're going to cut right along those lines. In fact, you can leave the line there if you want. Along her hair, it's going to be a little tricky. Just going to kind of go in and out a little bit. I have a tendency of leaving the lines, the black lines, because then if you've missed any area, it'll be okay because the black line will cover up. And you need to be careful in this arm area here. And now you can do the same thing, and we're going to do the same thing we did with the outside of our image. We are going to take our black marker, and this is, and you're going to notice I don't have my snips. We use them for wrapping packages, and I think my husband packed them with our wrapping paper, so I have to go look for them. Take my black Stampin' Right marker, and I'm going to rub right along those edges. That way, if there's any area that shouldn't be pink, when we place this down, this is going to kind of cover it up. And this is going to blend right into that area. Okay, so we have that, and wait till you see how this changes that image. I'm going to go ahead and adhere that down because I know me, I would lose this as I'm talking to you guys because it'll float away, it'll run away. I can't blame it on Stampy the elf, my elf on the shelf, because he has left us, or she has left us. She said that she won't be back till next year. She was pretty good this year. Last year, she played some nasty tricks on me. Okay, so we have the image. And we're going to put this paper piece right in here. So you don't have to worry about how to cut out that little area there. And now if you think that, I've got some glue there, you want a little, this black line just a little bit darker, take your fine tip and go very lightly. You don't want a very thick line, but you do want a line there. Okay, see how that blended right in? Okay, and see how that's going to blend into that background? Easy peasy. You know what? I like taking the easy way out of everything. Now we have this little rectangle right here, and this is a little bit wider line. So we may not have to use our black marker on it, cutting right down the center of it. And this is a teeny tiny piece. Good morning, Diane. Hey, Denise, how are you? Okay, so we have this, whoops. Okay, this tiny little piece right here. So I only need a smidgen of glue. I don't even need as much glue as I put on there. So it's okay that it's stuck on my hand. Let's bring our piece over and we're going to stick this piece under here. Now we left some of the black on, so we're going to overlap some of the image a little bit. So I am just going to take this, poke it around, stick it down just a little bit more. You just keep playing and see how that, you don't even notice it. Here, I'll even show you guys close up. Look at that. See how that blends right in? Ooh, it's foggy when I go close. It's much better when I stay wide open. So, okay, so now we're going to go ahead and adhere this to our card front. And see how by putting this on there, that wine glass, it looks like it's right on there. She's looking out there. I am going to do something, I think, with the bottom of this. I think we might put our verse down there. I should have put her all the way to the bottom of the card, I guess. I didn't want as much her on as much green. I wanted her looking over the horizon, the top part. So let's get her on here. Stick her down, line it all up. So we kind of paper piece that too, just like that. Okay, I'm going to look through the comments, see if anybody said green. Let's see. Okay, Peggy said yes to green. So I'm going to get my paper trimmer out. And I know, you know what? I'm going to cut this down a little bit. I'm going to cut this down to 5 inches. That's going to take even more of that green off. So I think that we may be okay with that bottom. Yep, we're okay. And then cut it a little bit narrower. We'll cut it at 3 3/4. Let's cut 1/8 of an inch off each side instead. So this will be 3 3/4. My sweater keeps getting caught in my blade. Okay, so we're going to cut this down to 4 inches by 5 1/4. You know what? I think I have a piece that measures that in my scraps. And I do. Let's make sure it's 5 1/4, 5 1/4, not quite 4 inches, by 4 inches. So we're going to use the garden green on there. I like the garden green on there. I think it frames the front beautifully. Okay. Okay, I think if I can grab it, I grab a little bit of ribbon here. I think I like the forest with a dark green. And we can put that right at the base of our card, and that's going to hide that. Let's grab our tear and tape. We still don't have a verse, but that's okay. We'll have one in a minute. Let's get this attached here. Right at the base. Perfect. See, no mistakes in stamping, only opportunities. Let's get this on there. Oh, there we go. We are having our first measurable snowfall in 300 and some days. So we haven't had any measurable snow yet this year for the holidays, so I'm kind of excited. And within 15 minutes, it's been kind of flurries on and off all morning, not adding to much. But then all of a sudden at noon, it started coming down really quick. We're supposed to get, depending on where you're at, between 1 and 5 inches. We're probably going to get, probably where I'm at, probably about 1.5 inches. Okay, we're going to set this on here. Look at that. Isn't that just makes the card. So you know how we make our own backgrounds when we need to? Oh no, you don't need to. And what I love about the 6x6 paper, when they have these scenes, seems like when they do the 12x12, they'll do this on half of it, and then the rest of it is all just sky. But this way, you're getting that image, so you can make quite a few cards. Okay, let's go to our verses. And sometimes the most productive thing you can do is relax, or you're always good to others, be good to yourself too. I think I'm going to do, you're always good to others, be good to yourself too. How often are we, we always think of others. I'm going to tell you a little story while I'm cleaning off my stamp. We do several different grab bags during Christmas. And, it's got to be a certain dollar amount. And this year I picked out a couple gifts that were short the dollar amount. And so, he told my husband, I says, why don't you go pick up some lottery tickets for me? So, I was sticking lottery tickets in the gifts this year. And I'm going, which one should I, give, which ones? And I says, it looks like more when you give 10 $1 ones than when you give 2 $5 ones or 1 $10 one. And I says, plus they have 10 chances to win. So when I was all done with our Christmas gifts this year, we were done with we had 2 lottery tickets left. So I've kind of just left them here and waited in case, there was somebody else that we happened to forget. I'm going to ink this up. I'm going to re-ink my pad a little bit because it seems a little bit dry while we're here. So we had these 2 lottery tickets. We were putting our, Christmas wrapping paper and stuff away earlier today, and then Dave left, and I came across the 2 lottery tickets. I forgot we had them. I thought, okay, well, he said that I could keep what was left over. So I scratched off our lottery tickets, and the first one was a $500 winner. Yay, yay. And the second one was a $5 winner. So it was our lucky day today. Okay, so I'm going to put this up in the top left-hand corner. I know yesterday Diane was talking about where she always has a tendency of putting things, and I'm very similar to her, but I'm opposite. She was saying that in the inside of her cards, she has a tendency of putting things on the lower right. I have a tendency of putting things on the lower left. So we're all a little bit different and unique. So here's the front of the card. Now I want to bring the front of the card into the inside of the card. So I'm going to cut from this 2-inch strip. I'm going to cut a 3/4 inch strip. I don't want only a 1/2 inch. I think 1 inch is too much. So we're just going to do that. And we want it by 5 1/4. So we'll cut the green off just because I like the bright colors of the top. Let's get the inside of our card. So this In the Moment stamp set, you guys, is one that I think that you will thoroughly enjoy. We have had similar sets, same idea, but not anything quite like what we have, in this set. And I always love these sets. You don't have to color them. So if you're a person that says, oh no, I don't like outline stamps, I don't like coloring, you know what, grab this one. You can paper piece it. You can just, stamp it in a single color. And it looks great no matter how you use it. Okay. In fact, you're going to see me using it quite a bit because I have fallen in love with that set. So to bring that front to the inside, I am going to leave the inside blank because I may use this as a thank you card or just a friend card. But don't you just love it? Okay, I'm going to flip this around and say goodbye to everybody. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I am sure that you cannot wait to get your catalog. I know that they have been mailed out. A couple of my people have already gotten them. And like I said, if you're not currently working with a demonstrator, if you're in Canada, contact Diane. And if you're in the USA, contact me and we'd be happy to send you one. Happy New Year, everybody, and see you next year. Bye-bye.